G'day ladies and gents, and welcome to War Thunder with Mags, and welcome aboard the MiG-15bis. Now, it's been a while since the Biz has been on the channel. That's mainly because I actually lost interest in flying top-end jets for a little while there. I really haven't flown this plane much in the last couple of months. This was actually the second battle that I had flown in around about a 4-month period. Now, the first time I flew it out was just the match right before this one, and well, I can begin to see why players were complaining about the MiG-15bis' performance. It's not actually a problem with the MiG-15 so much as the way that the vast majority of pilots seem to be flying them. The match was incredibly short, only 6 minutes long, and excluding myself, almost the entirety of my team, all in MiG-15bis, took off from the runway on the Russian side, flew at treetop level across the map, the full length of Korea, and straight into the guns of a team of F-86 Sabres, and promptly got cut down, and then began to complain in chat that they just got cut down. If you fly directly into the guns of your enemy and then get shot in the face, that's not a problem with the plane, that's a problem with the way you're flying the plane. So anyways, I found my first target. It's an F-86 F-30 Japanese Sabre. It's engaging one of our MiG-15s. It looks like it's got a fairly good position on it at the moment, but I'm coming in from above. I have the energy advantage, over 750 kilometers an hour, and I don't pull the trigger. I take it straight back into the vertical and regain altitude, and this is because I wasn't happy with the positioning for the shot. And this is one of the first and most important things you need to learn when you're flying something like the MiG-15bis. You have 160 23mm rounds, and you have 40 37mm rounds. If you're not happy with the shot, don't pull the trigger. Don't pull the trigger until the target is right where you want it. First kill. So with the first kill done and our teammate's tail cleared, take the plane straight back to altitude, start passing 12,000 feet and keep getting it back up to at least 15. Well, at least 15 in this particular battle. How high you take the MiG is relative to how high the enemy team is. There's no point in hanging around at 25,000 feet if your entire enemy team is only at 5,000 feet. But you want to keep a gap of about at least 5 to 10,000 feet above your enemy at all times. Second Sabre's been spotted. Again, he's on the tail of a MiG-15. Diving out of the clouds. No, he's 3.7 above, and it looks like he's broken away. He seems to be heading back down towards the river and running. It's highly likely that he's actually seen me coming in the dive, and he's trying to open up a gap. Now, I can understand entirely what he was trying to do here. The F-86F is faster than the MiG-15 at low altitudes. However, he had a very short dive of only a few thousand feet before he leveled out at just above the ground to go into his run. I dove from 10,000 feet, so I'm at my red line at 1,080 kilometers an hour. He's not going to outrun me, even if the F-25 is faster than the MiG-15. I've just got too much speed and too much energy after that dive. Carefully line up the shot, pull the trigger, and blow the elevators straight off the back of his aircraft. There's my second kill, raise the nose, back into the clouds, and go back to altitude. So what should that Sabre pilot have done instead? Well, that's actually a really hard question. He had already got himself into a terribly bad position because he was technically engaging two MiGs. When he went into the dive to break away from the first MiG and myself, he opened up the speed gap. He was sitting at just under 1,000 kilometers an hour, so he was doing the right thing in running, but I had too much energy on for my dive, so he wasn't going to outrun me. If he had banked hard left or right, I was still in a position far enough back to be able to adjust and intercept his manoeuvre, and I would have still been able to get guns on target. If he had popped the air brakes, rolled hard, and rapidly slowed down, it was possible he could have caused me to overshoot, because I would have been unwilling to give up my airspeed. I would have had to take the plane back into the vertical. But that would have left him at low altitude, at low energy, at low speed, and all I would have had to do is roll the plane back over and strike him again. This is the problem with low altitude fighting in jets. Once you take away altitude, you take away a whole bunch of options in regards to diving away and gaining rapid speed. If he had been engaging at, say, 10,000 feet, he would have had enough altitude underneath him to open out the Sabre to its maximum speed, which is higher than the MiGs in a dive, and he would have been able to pull away at 1,100 kilometers an hour. I never would have been able to intercept him in the first place. His lack of altitude at the beginning of the engagement is what actually cost him his plane. So, regardless, we're 2 kills into the match, and I've been getting requests from help coming from the rest of our team, which seems to be centered around our runway. It's looking like the rest of the enemy team has gone and grouped themselves up, attempting to vulture targets that are coming in for landing. Now, this is actually not an uncommon play for allied teams. It's mainly to do with the fact that the Russian teams at this level are predominantly built out of MiG-15s, and 163s. Now 163s have a very limited fuel load. They can only stay in the air for a short period of time. After around about 6 to 8 minutes, depending on how good the pilot is and how hard he's running his engine for, they have to return to base and land. They're out of fuel. They have to put down on that runway, and while they're there, they're vulnerable. The MiG-15s, as I said before, have very, very little ammunition, and if MiG pilots tend to spray a little bit, they run out of ammo very quickly, and again, they need to return to base to reload. A MiG in the air with no bullets isn't particularly dangerous to anybody. Allied teams, on the other hand, are predominantly F-30 and F-25 Sabres, with the occasional F-2 and Venom that seems to be mixed in. The odd Meteor will show up from time to time, although they don't seem to be particularly popular in the meta at the moment. Neither are the F9Fs, which is really odd, because I remember a time when they filled the skies, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on with those. I should probably take a look at them. Regardless, excluding the F2 Sabre, the majority of Allied aircraft tend to have larger amounts of ammunition, so they tend to be able to spray more and still keep themselves within the fight. They also have comparable fuel loads, so they are able to hang around longer, wait till the Russian team runs itself out of bullets, and then do what you see here. Start hitting them on the runway as they're beginning to bring themselves in. So the enemy F-86 F2 just killed itself strafing out a 163 on the runway. However, it looks like it actually hasn't taken the 163 out. It's still sitting there and being repaired. Another F-30 has just passed underneath me. It was at too high an angle of attack. The Venom was my optimal target here. It was in the best position for me to engage. Bank it around right. Venom pilot pulls in sharply. I try and get a quick lead. Very short burst. He passed by too quickly. Don't try and turn with the Venom, they will outturn the MiG. So take it straight back into the vertical and try and position myself above the Venom. Now he pulled himself up underneath and tried to follow me in the vertical, did not have enough energy after his turn, so he's diving back down for speed. So I roll the MiG over to begin dropping altitude to engage the Venom. Now the Venom has just disappeared, his red box has vanished. He is still there, however, it's just the altitude gap between me and him and his proximity to the ground has made it disappear. And there we go, the red box has appeared just underneath me, he's banking hard right again. Not going to make that turn. I've got all the energy in the world, I just take the plane back into the vertical. It's not a problem at all. Pull back out to about 9,000 feet. Now I was going to continue my manoeuvring against the Venom, however I spot the F-86 F-30. It's back at altitude, it's coming in my direction, so just keep the nose down and then pitch up. It looks like he was trying to gain altitude above me to do exactly what I was doing to the Venom to me. But he doesn't notice me nose up. Quick burst, third kill. Roll back over to re-engage the Venom, however the 163 is repaired and he got his air spawn. He now approaches in on the Venom, they go head to head and that is a very bad idea. And the Venom goes down, 163 takes him out and the runway has been cleared. And that's the end of the match. So let's go through to the results. So results for the match. First place for the team with 3 kills. We came in with Professional X2, Shadow Strike Streak X2, Win Streak X3, and the best squad. 59,850 Silver Lions and 4,117 research points on a premium account with no boosters active. Vehicle research was at 95%. It took a chunk out of my BD-248 pylons, which is the last upgrade that I need to get before spading the Russian MiG-15bis. So I said it the last time I flew the MiG-15bis out, I really love this plane and nothing has really changed. I still love flying it out. It performs well. It works really good providing the team doesn't go and suicide themselves on the enemy guns right at the start. In that situation, well, 6+ on 1 is kind of hard for any plane to really succeed against. But nevertheless, very good aircraft. Keep it high, keep it fast, control your shots. Make sure your enemy is in your gun sights before you pull the trigger so you don't waste ammo, and you should perform reasonably well in this aircraft. Anyways, ladies and gents, until next time, click like if you do, subscribe if you want to see more, fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.